So now, do you want to convince me that no, the police were busy doing their job, or they were busy tampering with the crime scene? Here, listen, guys. I'm coming up with this bomb. There's a bomb that exploded there, which exposed the deliberate effort to plant evidence there. Hear me out. Hear me out. Before you start screaming and say, bongan. Wait. So today, the person that was doing the cross-examination was Advocate Mshololo. Well done. In this channel, we give credit to people irrespective of their gender. We just give credit when it is true. Now, Advocate Ramasipile took the stand as well and asked this question. Remember that the bullet penetrated the body of Senzo Meyiwa, pierced through the body. So this was an exit, then entrance. So the investigation found a bullet that supposedly pierced through or entered the body of Senzo Meyiwa and exited on the other side. So they found that and then took that, and then later on that bullet was linked to accused number 3. No problem. Then Advocate Ramasipile is asking this simple, basic yet fundamental question then. So you found the bullet that supposedly went into that body. Did you do any test, either DNA, whatever? Because remember, it has gone through the body of a human being. So we must be able to find, it must have some DNA links that will say, no, indeed, it went through the body of Senzo Meyiwa. Here is the proof, because we have done the DNA. Remember, we were talking with the person that does the forensic, the fingerprint and all the stuff. So this question was relevant. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? Guess the answer. No. I'm going to ask you the question. Why should we believe everything that they are telling us? The idea, or what the defense have been telling us, that the evidence was planted, it now makes complete sense. It makes a complete sense to say the evidence was planted, because if you had tested the bullet, you would have known that the bullet does not belong to this crime scene. Do you see where we're going with this? I thought today's cross-examination was just on another level. But are you interested to know more about everything that I've just told you? Then please stick around. As you stick around, there's only one favor that I'm requesting from you guys, and that favor is that you subscribe, you like the video, and you do comment in the comment section below. Why do you need to do all of these nice things, good people? Yeah, well, you need to do it because, doing it does help out a lot when it comes to the YouTube algorithm to promote and spread this video to as many people as possible. So definitely, good people, the power here is in your hands. Please exercise that power in favor of this video. Hi guys, you need to watch this video till the end. You need to like this video, get it to 1,000 likes, guys. You need to watch the ads, guys, please. Guys, remember to join, become a member of this YouTube channel from as little as 20 rand a month. Guys, those things are free to do. Remember, the last thing, let me tell you this. If you are coming across this channel for the first time, just know that this channel, together in this channel, we are called I almost said intruders. We are the tribe. People are coming from different walks of life. Others from Namibia, Botswana, Swaziland, South Africa, Australia, England, America, Malaysia. I'm talking about people that you can see in the comment section below. We're coming from all different walks of life, and together we are the tribe. I have been appointed or anointed to be the leader of this by the tribe. You know what I'm saying? The people here have appointed me in this position. If I'm no longer doing their jobs, they will dethrone me and they will appoint somebody else. So I better do my job, and that is what I'm about to do today. As I report back to the court, my lord, the court is in session as of now. And this court is called the Court of Public Opinion. My lord, I went, as I've been instructed, to go find an evidence. Mshololo was cross-examining people on the crime stand. Mshololo's cross-examination showed most of the inconsistency within the SAPS. And part of the things that Mshololo asked was that, did you take pictures of the wall around the house? And Colonel Mshlahlo says, I took pictures of the house. Didn't you? Why? Look, didn't you take pictures of the wall? Why? No, but it appears in the pictures that was her word. And then Mshololo said, why didn't you take pictures of the wall or of the Kumalo wall? Right? And look, Uti Mshlahlo, no, the incident happened inside the house, not outside. Outside. That's why. And right there, guys, I was thinking to myself to say, wait a minute, isn't the entire place, the entire house and everything, isn't part and parcel of the crime scene? Remember, Tumelo tells us he jumped that side, and so you just want to make sure. I think if you are talking about an expert, you are talking about somebody that goes beyond, But these ones, they are instructed by the Kumalos to get the point. Mina, I'm expecting to tell you that I want you to install this software. I want a software like this. As an expert, you will be able to think beyond. You will be able to see what I want, things that I cannot even express. But because you are an expert, then you will be able to tell me that. Now, wait a minute. Before we proceed here, we need to start here. Hey, guys. If you're in Kenya, please get into my DMs. You will find my Instagram link. Just go to this YouTube channel where it says about. You will find my Instagram link. Click there. Tell me, I'm coming to your country before the end of this year. To those that don't know, Pella, I am an author. This is my book. It's called The Arms of Masajani. I hope you can see it. So we will be doing something like this in Kenya sometime this year. And guys, I'm gonna tell you where to find this book. I've released this book some time ago, probably early last year, but I didn't do any promotions of this book. It goes it's, if you want to purchase it, it's 180 rand per copy, but that excludes delivery. You need to support your brother. I'm gonna give all the details soon as to where. We're still working with Take a Lot. I want to upload that book on Take a Lot as well. But let's continue. Advocate Mshololo, Otige. In other words, you did not consider as necessary to take pictures of the wall or take the measurement. Mshlahlo says, if I was informed people jumped the wall, but I had this, I heard this, that people ran away. Right there, it goes back to that point to say, you are an expert. You're supposed to go far and beyond. You're supposed to, if I say there was poison here, you're supposed to search the entire place. You know what I'm saying? Not to say, I searched here because people told me that the poison, to get a point, there was a poison here. Guys, I don't get it. Why should we call them expert if their thinking is the same as us? I just find it so difficult, guys. I find it so strange that I need to, before I talk ill of other people, maybe they will say so. Did you take measurement of the wall? Mshlahlo, no, there was no information that linked the incident to the wall. The wall that belongs to the Kumalo family. Nothing. Remember, these people came inside the place. There was a scaffold inside, and there's no measurement. We don't have the accuracy of every information pertaining to the house. And I think that I'm not an expert. You know what I'm saying? But I think it makes a logical sense. Let me give you an example here. I was involved in an accident in N3. I was driving to Pretoria, coming from Spruit. You know what I'm saying? I picked up somebody in Spruit. I was driving towards Katlego. I was driving towards Pretoria. On a Linksfield off-ramp, I got an accident. I think I once spoke about that accident. When they were doing when the police, Metro Police arrived and they were doing the measurement and all the stuff, they did not focus on where the incident had happened. They've even gone far, you know what I'm saying, where it might have possibly started. Those people are not even expert, but I saw them doing measurement even 500 meters away from where this thing had happened. I've seen them doing measurement. How much more these people who are an expert couldn't just focus on gathering evidence? They were just focusing on guys. Something is off with this police. You know what I'm saying? They don't take measurement of the walls and all the stuff. Mshololo. The report was given by the report was given to you by of what happened by Uzwane Angit Utumsholo Umhlahlo. Yes. And then did you receive a report that Makomalo lifted a head and showed it to the police? And then Utumhlahlo, I never received that report. Right. Remember, we are talking about an expert that deals with fingerprint. Therefore, it means that if she had picked up the head that belongs to the suspect, then as they are doing the fingerprints, they should be able to find my fingerprints here because I'm touching this book. So it then raises the question to say, when they were doing then the investigation and the touch DNA on that head, what did they find? Or they just didn't do it because they knew it never belonged to any suspect. Do you see where we're going with this thing? I mean, guys, I don't know. So, but then, look, Mshololo asked this question. Were you not supposed to have known about it if it had happened? Mhlahlo says, yes, yes, I was supposed to be informed that something like this, Makomalo had touched the head. No problem. We proceed. How is the crime scene secure? How was the crime scene secured? Mshololo, look, how do you secure a crime scene? Yes, that's the question. A tape, no people should be inside the house. There must be no movement until investigation is concluded. Yeah, I think we did mention that point yesterday to say when look, you do not cross a tape that has been a tape that tape where look that police usually it's cordoning the crime scene. Yes, you are not allowed to cross. As a citizen, I'm not allowed to cross that tape because then I don't know what is happening beyond that. Police are the ones who have that access in and out the crime scene because they know what to do and how to walk in the crime scene. That's simple logic, you know what I'm saying? If a person is left in control of the house without a police, there is a possibility that a person can remove or replace things. Mhlahlo says, I've no comment. She saw that now she's being cornered. Remember, we're talking about a crime scene here. And to give a bit of a background here, look, this is where it's fun. And a lot of people think that we just arrive at the point where we disbelieve the Kumalos because we just hate the Kumalos. No. A person has died in that house, right? Mind that a person has died in that house. So since a person has died in that house, we're expecting them to call the police and call the ambulance. Yet they don't do all of those things. In fact, the first people to be called, Makumalo phoned her brother, Temba Kumalo, and then Kelly Kumalo phoned, I don't know who's Chikotwala to Kelly Kumalo, but Kelly Kumalo phoned Chikotwala instead of calling the police, right? And the next thing, Temba comes into the picture and secure a crime scene. Temba is not a police. Temba knows nothing about crime. Now we know now that Mapiri tampered with the crime scene. So this question is asked at the background of that. So that Mapiri tampered with the crime scene. Temba was securing a crime scene, but Temba is not a police. To see where we're going. So this question was very irrelevant. So she saw that I'm being cornered here. Mshololo, was any sort of investigation done on the hole depicted in the door? On the hole depicted in the door, expect for taking pictures or looking into the hole. Looking into the hole, nothing was done, right, Mshololo? So you didn't do any swap on that hole itself. Remember. Let me point out why the swap would have been important in this one. We're talking about Senzo Meyiwa. Senzo Meyiwa has been penetrated by a bullet. His body penetrated by a bullet. This is an exit, and then this is an entrance, and then an exit. So if we are following the DNA, or if we are following a lead, if a bullet has hit here, it's necessary for us to do a DNA. That DNA will then tell us that the bullet that have hit here, was it the one coming from the body of Senzo Meyiwa or not? Do you see where we're going with this question? Because then the bullet that came from Senzo Meyiwa, it went out with particulars, DNA particular of Senzo Meyiwa, since it has penetrated his body. But they don't do all of those DNA. still you want us to believe the credibility of SAPS and the crime scene. We must take it as if it was look, as pure, as clean as possible, that nobody tampered with that crime scene. I don't know if you see where we're going with this thing, but I now see that it was necessary for, like, today, you see I'm touching here. If an object exits my body and touches here, the DNA must be taken here. It just a logical sense. I'm not even an expert, but these experts who are supposed to have known better, they didn't do all of those things. Yeah, they said no swap was done on that one. Mshololo, was that piece of the door taken for examination to see if part of the door, or if part of that door had blood? We've already covered some part of that question. We don't have in police a unit with a wood examination. Okay, and I was like, no, okay, fine. Did you measure the pace of that wood? No, I didn't. Mshololo, that question. I don't know how I wrote that question, but yeah. In that in your statement, if I had collected that piece of, I would have written, Mshololo, you failed to record a crucial evidence. Speaking about the head, the wood, and I forgot the other one, but we'll come back to this one later on. Then Mshololo goes into the issue of cans of alcohol. Do you remember Mapopola, the public figure? I've been accused by I've been accused by that I'm actually, I have a crush on Zandi Kumar. Never Zandi. By the way, me and Tsigimazwai today, the 23rd of August 2023 at 8 p.m. Invited into her own she's hosting a Twitter space. So please, guys, let's attend that Twitter space. Please, I'm begging you, let's attend that Twitter space. It is me versus Tsigimazwai on her own territory. Yeah. Okay, I'll love. So yeah, Zandi Kumala had told us about the cans. To remember the 2 cans and all the stuff. There's a very important question that was asked concerning that. Mshololo, you came with an idea that the alcohol cans must. Who came up with the idea that the alcohol cans must be part of the investigation? That's where she ran away, broad daylight. She wouldn't answer this question. I've got a problem with the fact that this lady has been dodging questions. You are in if you don't have anything to hide, then you can't be in court and be so evasive and be defensive. Let me give an example about this. You get your partner, or you caught your partner cheating, and the next thing, they don't want to give you password to their phones. At the same time, they're expecting you to believe them and have the idea that they are innocent, blah 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 blah. I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? If you've got nothing to hide, like me, if I'm in a relationship with a girl and I know I've got nothing to hide, I leave my phone with the, look, if you want the password, I'll give you a password, because I've got nothing to hide. So here you are asked questions, you are avoiding them. It tells me that you've got something to hide. There's just that logical sense that you have something to hide. And I've got a problem with the fact that you still want us to believe that you are innocent. Whereas, see again, this lady, I told you yesterday, she is as rude as Zandi Kumalo. The difference is that she is in an organization called the SAPS, and the management, she's a senior member. So she can't necessarily express her rudeness the same way as Zandi Kumalo did. But Colonel Mshololo and Zandi Kumalo, same WhatsApp group. Rude. But yeah, when investigation is done, there is no induction but exchange of views. So we all said no. What Mshololo was asking was that, who came up with the idea? Guys, if we are moving, or if I'm saying let's sell this book, I'm the one who came up with the idea to say we are going to sell this book. You know what I'm saying? Then we agreed on it, but I came up with the idea. That's what advocate Mshololo was asking, to say who came up with the idea. No, we came with the idea, all of us. That's why you see that there's no logic in that answer. There's no logic in, so we are talking about a senior member of the SAPS here. You know what I'm saying? A senior member that cannot answer logical questions. Who came up with the idea that let's go eat out? We all came up with the idea. There's no way. Even twins, one has to come up with the idea, and the other one has to agree to eat. Do you see what I'm saying? Here we must. Hi, Mshololo, you testify a brown envelope was used to put the bullet in. Look, she agreed and said yes, it was used. Mshololo, you are a team who was the lead investigator. Musia was responsible for forensic. So a junior was assisting you. There is no senior or junior in crime scene. I also disagree here, guys. Nah. I disagree. But yeah, Mshololo referred her to pictures in court and all the stuff, which had the brown envelope and the projectile. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, she took her into that journey, which we don't have a privilege because we don't see the screen. Yeah, somebody said that we will be invited in court. That will be interesting, huh? But again, now the brown envelope was used. The brown envelope used is not the one that is prescribed in terms of police. The type that type, when you close it, it's not a sealed bag. Let me give an example here. The envelope that we're talking about here, you see this book. These books are sealed. They've got plastics here. There's a glue that that they use to seal this plastic. But that the evidence that the plastic bag that Advocate Mshololo is referring to, the ones that we normally see with the SAPS, when they open it here, it has got a seal. There's a way there's a way in which this plastic bag is sealed. You understand what I'm saying? And if you had to open it, you can't close it again. So that was the line of questioning, and I could see that, all right, this is where Advocate Mshololo is going to say, you used an envelope that had all the possibility to be open and closed. And that envelope, I know, I've seen it though, the brown envelope, I've seen it. I've seen that brown envelope opening without even me opening that brown envelope. I found it opened, and it opened itself as time progresses. You know what I'm saying? And you still want to tell me that there's nothing wrong with that brown envelope. Right there, I've just told you there's something wrong with the brown envelope. So the argument from Advocate Mshololo is that this, the prescribed exhibit bags, they have been tested. And that was the argument from Advocate Mnisi yesterday, to say we need to call, and even today it was emphasized, we need to call a person or a forensic expert working on the laboratory. They will tell us the difference between the brown envelope and this envelope, and why they prescribe the white one. Do you see where we're going with this one? Because there's a reason why. And I'm telling you this, the conclusion or the point the defense arrived at, to say they need to call an expert, they did not arrive at that point just randomly. They've arrived at that point long time ago. There are loopholes that they've seen, just the one that I've just named now, that I saw my brown envelope opening itself. You know what I'm saying? Without me opening that brown envelope, I just found that envelope, and I was alone in that house. I was staying alone. So there's no way that somebody had opened that envelope, and there's nothing in that envelope. Nothing crucial. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would have opened that envelope, but it just opened itself. So it takes me to this point then to say the presupposition that there is a possibility that even if the projectile that was collected in the crime scene was the correct one, but the possibilities of it being swapped along the way, they are there. And now they are substantiated by the idea or the assertion that the projectile or the bullet found in the crime scene was never tested. There was no DNA done on that one. So now we have more reasons to doubt the credibility thereon. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, the defense is still coming back to cross-examine the transportation of such things. But again, we've exhausted at this point. Let's move in. Mshololo says, now moving to the beginning of the the bagging of the bullet projectile. Let's talk about the brown envelope. The brown envelope that used to put exhibit is not the one that is prescribed in terms of the look. We've already covered that one. Yeah. So the envelope is not the same that is provided look on the normal seal bag. The brown envelope you can open it after it was closed. I've already made that argument. I've seen it with my own naked eyes. I didn't even open it. Yeah, so Colonel Umhlahlo says when you open it, it will be visible that it was opened. No problem, but you can still buy a glue and close it with the glue. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't pretend as if we are dumb. You can still close it with the glue. There's a glue for it. So the idea that you can see that it's what was open, I cannot take it. It's a lame. I don't think a person who is sitting in high office can talk like this. You know what I'm saying? We're expecting an educated opinion. We must feel that here we are talking to an expert, but these people take a stand and they talk to us as if they are laymen like everybody else. You can't come up with that excuse. You can buy that glue. It's CNA. Do we still have CNA, by the way? It's CNA or what? There's those shops. You can buy that glue and still put it there. I was told to go do that. I did it myself. So you can't say that. You can't put the argument that no, even if you did it, it will be somebody will be able to see that you did it. Why from the start didn't we use the right exhibit bags? This point, guys, is very important. Remember, please bear in mind, we will come back to this point. Then expert will be called. So this point is very much important in relation to the tampering of the crime scene. Mshololo, is it possible for someone to tamper with those envelopes? Mshololo says you can't. No. Mhlahlo says you can't tamper with this, with something placed in an exhibit bag. You can pay. Look, so the argument was that you can therefore, if I pierce through that thing, you know what I'm saying? I can break that envelope. You know what I'm saying? And she saw that, okay, I'm being cornered here. So the point was that you used something that can easily be tampered with, the brown envelope, instead of the things that are prescribed, which are the right tools to contain exhibits. You know, and I understood Advocate Mshololo where she was going. You know what I'm saying? But again, Mshololo, from your evidence, it is easier. It is possible to tamper with the sin of that envelope, and it was put on a plastic bag that you say it can't be pierced, but a sharp object. Now here's the point. The point is the brown. You took something and you put it on the brown envelope. Then you put it in the correct thing. Why didn't you use the correct thing from the beginning? Point blank. Why the brown envelope instead of using the right material from the beginning? In the beginning. In other words, what you are saying is, in other words, what I'm saying is, it was put into a bag that is possible for someone to be able to tamper with. Umhlahlo says you can't tamper with something that is placed inside an exhibit bag. Do you see this point? The exhibit bag, it's the white one, the transparent one. Then you've got a brown envelope. Why didn't you use the one that you are very confident that you can't tamper with this one? Do you see the... Hey, when you arrive at the house, did you also use that kitchen door to enter? Mhlahlo says yes. Mshololo, since there had been a bullet hole, there, was it not supposed to be a no-go area? That was the only door in that house, which is a lie. Msia said that house had two entrances. So Mhlahlo says that house, that was the only door. That house has two doors. I don't know if you see where I'm going, guys. I don't want to show you this house. Some of you, hey, I've never seen a house with one door. In this house, I used one door, right? But it doesn't mean that. Just last week, I opened that other door. I was just for the sake of control, just opening. So it means that if there would be a problem here, If I don't want to use that other door, I will use the other door. That's the simple logic that Mshololo was using. Why use the kitchen door when there's a problem in the kitchen door? Do you see the logic there? I didn't understand why they used a door that is directly a crime scene. And she says, no, that... And Mshololo uthi, was that door not supposed to be closed and marked as no-go area? Mshololo says, look, Mshololo, Umhlahlo says, I don't understand how will the investigation be done in a closed door. Which is, again, she lacks logic. What Mshololo was saying is, if this is a no-go area, it simply means nobody else except the people. If ever there is only two people, or there are only two people that are supposed to enter that place, it's only two people. That's why they are saying it's a no-go area. There's no in this country there are places where they store critical chemicals, and they say it's a no-go area. In essence, they are simply saying only authorized specific individuals can enter this area. Other than that, you do not cross that area. That's what Mshololo was implying. This girl who think that she's smart, but there's lack of logic in her answer. She says, how are we going to use that? And I'm like, girl, logic should tell you that Mshololo is talking about. But hi, hi. You know, you are so disappointed to people who are called expert, because you're expecting an educated opinion, educated logic. But instead of them giving you an educated opinion, educated logic, they just resort to something that you're like, I don't want to meet this girl in real life. Like, honestly, I don't want to meet Colonel Mhlahlo in real life, because the way she answers, there's nothing that you can desire to follow this woman. There's nothing. Hi, man. Hi. Mshololo, was that door not supposed to be okay? We've already covered that point. All the people who were moving in and out were using that door. Mhlahlo says, yes, we were making use of that kitchen door, right? Anyone who accessed that house used the kitchen door. Mhlahlo says, yes. So you discovered a bullet where everyone was moving in and out. Mhlahlo says, behind the glass jar. That's again, what's the point of running away? The answer should have been yes. Inside that same house, behind the glass jar, everybody was moving in and out. So you discover something in a place, a kitchen, guys. Come on, sitting room. Everybody's moving in and out the sitting room. Why do you want to be specifically saying no, behind the Wi-Fi router? Yes, they are talking about the kitchen. There's a context there. That's why I'm saying we saw a woman whom we are expecting some sort of intellectual response, because she's a senior member in the SAPS. She's got 20 years experience, 18 years as a forensic investigator. But the way she's answering, God. Hi, it leaves a lot to be desired. Hi, that area was not closed, and so when you discovered a bullet, yes, when I did my investigation, I found a bullet. What investigation? Mshololo, is there an area where you found a bullet? Look, in the area where you found that bullet, they were near the jar. Yeah, the jar were clear, but have food in it. No problem. We leave that. We take that. I said, no problem. We're going to take that. Mshololo, the reason Mr. Mosia did not found the bullet because it was not there. It was planted by people moving in and out after he left before you arrived. You didn't see this one coming. Mosia, remember that Mosia had left the crime scene because he was called to attend the crime scene, right? And remember, the crime scene was left in the care of Temba, right? Remember that they took 4 hours to report this, right? Yet all of them had their phones, except the one of Kelly Comer that got disappeared. You know what I'm saying? So if you now put 1 + 1, it tells you that the first police didn't found something that was quite obvious. You found something in it. Then that's why Amnesia was what? To say, wait a minute, which eyes did you use? Because it was quite obvious. If you find something on top, you see, I'm working on the table here. There's a table where I put all these things, my phones, my what. There's a table. You can't tell me that you can come into this house, search for something here, you don't find it, and then somebody who's an expert suddenly find them. Is it because being an expert make you see things different than I, in a sense that something that is quite obvious? That's the logic that they are using here to say, you found something where people have searched before, they couldn't find it. Just because they are not experts, we then have to distrust the result of their effort. No, certainly not. But again, Colonel Mshololo then responded and say, if I hadn't followed the trajectory move, Jazz also wouldn't have found the bullet. Oh, no problem, Mshololo. We'll take that because you are so defensive. No problem. Mshololo, the bullet wasn't there. It was placed by someone moving in and out the house. And Mshololo says, I wouldn't be able to speak about what happened before I arrived. I have no evidence the bullet was placed there. No problem. If you don't have evidence that the bullet was placed there, why didn't you take it for swap and see the DNA if it matches if it matches, you know, because we must be able to find in that bullet, we must be able to find the blood or the DNA of Senzo Meyiwa. That's a logical sense, right? But you didn't do all of that. Now you want to dispute the point that the evidence was planted. How are you going to dispute that? That is where Advocate Mshololo, that was the core of Advocate Mshololo's cross-examination, to say the evidence that now today you want us to regard it as you know what I'm saying, treasure it was actually planted by somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I could understand that, because you did not, remember the first question is that you did not do the DNA test on the bullet that was found there, but you want us to believe that that bullet belongs to see what I'm saying? It's the one that that bullet is the one that killed Senzo Meyiwa. How are we going to arrive at that conclusion if you did not do the DNA test in that bullet? How are you going to dispute the fact that the bullet found there was actually planted? You can't, because you didn't do your due diligence in investigating the bullet found on the crime scene. There's no DNA. The same thing that happens when Sergeant Masondo and Sergeant Dlamini was asked to go to, did you found a firearm, 9mm and 28 live ammunition, and then you arrested accused number 3. Did you do any DNA test to see the fingerprint touch on the gun? No. Now, you want us to believe that the gun belongs to accused number 3, but there was no DNA. We are not talking about something that is not available at the disposal of the SAPS. It is there, but they chose not to do it. Still, they want us to believe, guys, there are matters of faith, there are matters of logic here, and there are matters of substantial evidence. In this one, they just want us to ignore everything. It is not faith that you breathe. It's a fact you're breathing. Faith is the fact that I will wake up tomorrow. That's faith. You know what I'm saying? The matters of bullets and all the stuff, it's not faith that this is a book. It's a fact. It's not faith. It's fact. You know what I'm saying? Faith is, am I going to make sales out of this book or not? That's faith. These people want us to take matters of logic and matters of reality and turn them into faith. We must now move by faith that the bullet found there, look, it's the one that killed Senzo Meyiwa, when they have at their disposal the necessary material to test those things, you know what I'm saying, and come up with a substantial evidence that indeed the DNA results are matching. They don't do all of that. They don't match the gun, but they take all these things, combine them, and shove it into our face and say, these are the things that made out your beloved Senzo Meyiwa, therefore take it. It is this reason that we arrive at the point that we distrust the state. We distrust that the people, 5 accused that are standing on that stand, are the people that made Senzo Meyiwa. It is all these reasons that we don't trust. We are not saying these people are not guilty of any crime other than this one. But we are saying, when pertaining the case of Senzo Meyiwa, we don't believe that accused number 1 to 5 are the right people to be arrested. No, we don't believe, because even now, every time when they call a witness, what is supposed to be happening, they are supposed to be showing us substantial evidence that are supposed to convict us every day and show more evidence that, yeah, that makes us to say, yeah, accused number 5, 1 to 5, yeah, they've done it. But every time there's a witness that takes a stand to testify against accused number 1 to 5, we are led to believe that every time we are led to believe that these people, they have nothing to do with this crime. As a court of public opinion, and like, honestly speaking, I've seen probably more than 95% people believe that, including me, in that 95%. No, but people believe that accused number 1 to 5 have got nothing to do with this case. I myself am one of those. Because, like I said, they are laboratory that belongs to the state, police to be specific, but they are not used. Remember I said yesterday in that video, you must prove a case beyond reasonable doubt. You didn't do a DNA test in the gun that was found on accused number 3. You didn't do a DNA test in the bullet that was found there, but you still want us to believe it's the same bullet. You see the logic? Is there any logic? See again. So you discovered a bullet where people were moving in and out, blah blah blah. She says that she responded, and so also an evidence of Mr. Mosia that he inspected the area and didn't find any bullet. And Mshololo saw that, hey, are you getting me, Advocate Mshololo? She says, okay, I hear you. You know what I'm saying? With that rude attitude. Mshololo, you didn't know where Mr. Mosia took the exhibit to, or you don't know where Mr. Mosia took the exhibit to. Mshololo says that will be answered by Mosia where he took them to. The simple question is, yes, I don't know. But because she is there to defend her integrity and all the stuff, the moment a person switches into a defensive mood, there's something wrong right there. If you are defending yourself, there's something wrong right there. There's something wrong. We should ask ourselves, what is it that you don't want us to know about yourself? So much so that you will result in defending yourself when it is not clearly not necessary to defend yourself. Simple answer, you don't know where Mosia took these things to. He must come and explain that. The simple answer, yes, I don't know. That we move on. Simple. Hi, man. Hi. Hi, Kona. Hi. Then Ramasipile, we're not done with Mshololo. I think there are a few questions about Mshololo, but let's talk about Ramasipile. Ramasipile, then he took them and referred to pictures or that depict blood stains in the kitchen wall and say, was the bullet projectile swapped for DNA, seeing that the bullet, it's a pair, I'm looking for that right English word. You know what I'm saying? But again, let's just use this simple English word. It penetrated or pierced through the body of Senzo Meyiwa. Since it pierced through that body, this point was in my introduction. The DNA should have been done in the object. In the object, guys. Hey, I need to make this example. Yo. Hi. Yes, if this object, I don't know if you can see this object. This is a pin for my phone, right? This is where it enters, right? Say, for argument's sake, I was injured using this. Somebody injured me using this object, and it went through this body. Is it not a logical sense? So unless in court they work with evidence, is there proof that really this object entered the body of Bongan? For us to have an evidence, then we do a DNA swap here to back our point that indeed the person that injured Bongane used these things. That's a logical sense, right? But sometimes logic is not logic to other people. Common sense is not common to other people. You use this pen to stab somebody. You know what I'm saying? So we are talking about a person that was stabbed using this pen. So you have this as a crime scene. I mean, as a you find this as an evidence in your crime scene. You're supposed to make sure, because you've got the resources, the state provided you with the resources to take this into the laboratory and test this thing and see if indeed it was used to injure, or it was ever entered into the body of that individual. No. Having all the resources to test this, yet this thing is not tested. Let me repeat this question. You are not like Bongani, who doesn't have the resources, who could have argued and said, I don't have the resources. And if he's asked to say you could have taken this to the people that have resources, he can still argue, says, I don't have the money. You don't pay. You don't have to pay to use those resources because they belong to the state for these purposes, right? They are there. Number one, they are available. Number two, you don't have to pay for that. All you have to do is just to take this, give it to that department, and they test it, and then you take it back with the results, and that's it. You're failing to do just that. This is that bullet. So then we must take this bullet and say this bullet indeed is the one that was used to Meyiwa to murder Senzo Meyiwa. We must now take this. That's why I said to you guys, there are matters of faith, there are matters of logic, there are matters of facts. It's a fact that I'm breathing. It's a fact that I'm alive. But it's by faith that tomorrow I will still be alive. It's by faith. It is by faith that I will still have the money in my bank account, because anything can happen in between. The bullet, we cannot use the bullet entering the body of Senzo Meyiwa as matters of faith. You've got the resources to prove that point. Why don't you do that? Then you want us to believe that the crime scene was not tampered with intentionally. I don't know if you follow my logic. How are we going to trust that this was not done intentionally? But let's exhaust this point. We'll come back to Advocate Ramasipile and his key point. Right. How I found the bullet was by shifting the glass jar. I didn't follow the Utin. I hadn't followed the trajectory as per the damage of the door. Maybe I will not have found the bullet. Gusho Uloko. My point is the bullet was found in August. My point is the bullet was placed in a place where everybody was moving in and out and all the stuff. Okay, let's leave this one as well. And then where did Colonel Mangena do his investigation? He will come and answer himself. But he was on the scene. You see, again we have a problem with senior members who cannot answer logical questions, who are there to defend themselves instead of answering questions. The simple question would have been, I didn't notice, I saw him maybe there and there, because the kitchen is too small. That, remember, it was already been confirmed. They were doing investigation in this crime scene. The house is too small. The kitchen is too small that we wouldn't have seen Colonel Mangena doing his investigation. It's too small. Instead of answering this logical, simple, basic, fundamental question, you resort in running away from answering this, and you still want us to believe you as a credible witness. I have a problem with this. Specifically because it came from an expert, a person that is supposed to give logical Hi, Con. Hi, Mshololo. Hi, Mina. I don't have further questions for this one. My lord. This one. I don't have further questions for this one. Mshololo was done. Same. Mshololo was done. And then, Advocate Ramasipile asked this question. Remember that was just a re-cross examination, but the person that was doing the work today, it was Advocate Mshololo. Advocate Ramasipile asked, Advocate Mhlahlo, her role when the post-mortem was conducted on the Senzo Meyiwa's body at Germiston Mortuary says her duty was to take pictures. That's how she responded, to say, yeah, my duty was just to take pictures. You know what I'm saying? So now, in my notes, I mixed up Advocate Ngumalo and Advocate Ramasipile. So forgive me if I move in between. They are in no chronological order. The first one that came, it is Ramasipile, and then it is Advocate Ngumalo. So when I was doing my notes, I mixed the two. But let's get into Ngumalo as well. Was the fragment pieced from the door kitchen measured? And again, I didn't understand why police will measure things. You'll see them measuring things there, you know what I'm saying? But when this question was asked, I was like, yeah. Remember that if you are talking about a bullet, we must have the exact size of that bullet, because if we have the exact size, then we can link it to a specific gun. If we are saying the gun that was used here, it's a 9mm, then we know, okay, if it's a 9mm, that means we know the size of a bullet that is used in a 9mm firearm. Do you see where we're going at this point? Meaning to say, so if I found any gun or any bullet in that, or anything that would link me to the gun, I must have the exact measurement. But in this case, they found an evidence there, and it's not measured. Again, we're supposed to believe that you know what I'm saying? Do you know where it came from? It appears it came from the door, blah blah. Oh, no problem. Did Mosia do swabbing on the bullet projectile to dictate presence of blood? Mosia says no swabbing was done. Coming back to the question, did you see now why the defense? Yeah, the defense was there, man. The defense was doing the job. The defense was. I give credit to the defense. The defense. You guys are members of the tribe. I suspect you are secretly following this thing, because High Court, your intelligence. Sorry, guys. Ramasipile as well asked the same question. Do you see where we're going with this? Ramasipile, is there any entry and exit? Look, there is an entry and exit wound on the deceased body. Did you swap the bullet projectile for DNA profile? Mosia never swapped it. That's the answer that came from Mshololo. Remember, Mshololo was asked about, Mshololo asked Mshololo about what was Mangena's job. What did he do? No, he will come and answer. Instead of answering that question, she ran away. This question, because it suits her, then she answers and say Mosia didn't do it. Why wouldn't she say, go and ask? I was taking photos. I was doing this. I wasn't. Do you see where we're going with this witness? That instead of answering logical and simple questions, whenever she says that this question is going to incriminate me or prove my incompetence and my fellow, the person is incompetence, and no, she resorts not to answer such questions. She still believes. She still wants us to believe that she's a credible witness. But when it suits her, then she answers like now. She then answers now and say, Mosia didn't do it, or never do it, never swapped it. Do you see the inconsistency? Hey, some people need training indeed. As we continue, but I can't. Ramasipile then asked this question. Yo. Guys, this is interesting. Ramasipile asked, so you get into that house, seeing whatever it was happening, did you see any plates being broken? Because remember, there was a scuffle. So things must have been upside down, plates broken and all this stuff, right? Isn't that a logical sense that if people are fighting in the kitchen materials, or that which constitute the kitchen, the plates and the pots must be upside down, plates broken, but I never saw broken cups except for the dishes that were in the cupboard. Okay. Ramasipile, did you see signs that people were fighting that in that kitchen between the alleged 2 intruders and 6 people who were in that house? There was no blood on the wall that was indicate that something had happened, blah blah blah. Okay, we leave that one. We're gonna take it. Okay, so we're gonna take this one and say no problem. When Bazana, we will work on this one. But the point is, in today's testimony, something I saw and something that was super I don't know how best can I describe this. Oh, the defense poked holes. Remember, before I continue with this one, let's pause this point a little bit and let's go back here. Remember the point here. The state is to prove a case beyond reasonable doubt. First point. The second point is the defense, they are supposed to prove that the state is not credible in whatever evidence they are producing, right? 2. So in this one, you see the state coming up with what they call it evidence, and the defense posing serious questions that we as the court of public opinion, we are sitting here and we're like, the state here. God. So in this case, what was asked to this witness, simple, basic, logical questions that forms part and parcel of a procedural thing to do when collecting evidence. What then they proved to us was that necessary procedure was not followed in conducting their investigation in that crime scene. And it now makes a lot of sense and logical sense why they did not want advocate therefore, because advocate therefore was a police. That's the first thing you need to note. The second thing, he turned into a lawyer, upgraded into an advocate. Now the third thing is that he had won 19 out of 20 cases against the state, and particularly when in matters it matters in relation to the police and the state. The police management will dismiss the police and say they are incredible, they are disloyal and whatever. Whenever a police is dismissed by the South African police organization, they will resort to advocate therefore, and therefore will win that case, because he, first of all, he was a police, he understands the procedure in the SAPS. So in this case, advocate therefore would have been of a great use to nail these people, because he understands it. No wonder they saw that this one, we don't want this one. This one is going to deal with us early in the morning and he's going to finish us early in the morning. You know what, we don't want this one. But even with the ones that are there, job done. I know, personally, guys, I am pleased with their performance and their behavior so far. They've been able to expose the fact that the crime scene was tampered with big time, and we can see, you know what I'm saying, necessary things, necessary procedure, the brown envelope instead of the white envelope, the bullet that was found, the DNA was not done. Accused number 3 is arrested. That is gonna that will later be linked to the Meiwa case, but the fingerprint also, when we're not done, it's a mess. When advocate therefore says it's a fuck up situation, even though he was not supposed to use that word, but honestly speaking, like I said it yesterday, that it appears like the person that tampered with this crime scene, they knew exactly what they were doing. And I saw somebody saying that there is a chance that this case will be thrown out and the accused number 1 to 5 will be released and everybody goes home. I think it was the intention. They knew that this would be the outcome. You know what I'm saying? And this is the outcome. The person that was messing up with the crime scene, I think this is an outcome that they anticipated. They knew exactly that somehow it would be proven that, okay, these people are not the right people to be arrested. Therefore, they do away with this. Maybe what they did not anticipate is docket number 2, which now we are being told docket number 2, it's a rubbish. And if you understand how docket number 2 came about, then you will understand my presupposition, right? I was listening to an interview, the same interview that propelled me to do the video where I was talking about women not supporting Women's ANC, Women's League, and others not supporting Senzo Meiwa's mother. You know what I'm saying? Do you remember that interview, that video, right? In that interview, Senzomeyiwa's brother, not Sfiso, but the other one, revealed that Telezi was dismissed from the case, right? In 2015. In 2018, she was brought back into the case. But when she was brought back, she was not given the docket. She had been running like a headless chicken, trying to find the docket, this docket that they've initially worked on, the one that is currently used in court. They did not want to hand over that docket as she was being brought back to the case. Do you know now how I am now substantiating my point to say this thing was messed up on purpose, knowing that they wanted to tamper with everything, knowing whosoever they will bring to court will be found not guilty and dismiss the case and throw the case out of the court and out of the court. Look, and that's it. So they did not anticipate this docket number 2. So now I was laying my foundation to say this is how docket number 2 came about. And because Buthelezi was not given the docket, then they decided to say, let's come up with docket number 2. And that's how docket number 2 came about. Having gathered the evidence and all the evidence, then they then came up with docket number 2. Now, let me show you something. Chico Twala, I've played that voice note. Chico Twala had said that docket number 2 is an obstruction coming from media. Do you see the point? If you follow that logic, it tells you that, oh, Chico Twala hate docket number 2 because in the planning of this whole thing, the cover-up, they did not anticipate docket number 2. Docket number 2 took them by surprise. So now what they are doing, they are discrediting docket number 2, which implicate their favorite being Abokeli Kumar and Abolongwe. Because docket number 2 says everybody that is in that house must be arrested. Finish and clear. You know what I'm saying? So you can do the cover up in docket number 1, but docket number 2 says everybody that was in that house must be arrested. Do you remember that the statement read by Advocate Mshololo, the NDPP, saying that according to them, there was no intruder in that house, and then the NDPP had not refused to prosecute all the people that were in that house because of the evidence. If these people are saying that they are just waiting for, or if these people are saying that they will prosecute these people in that house, they have not refused to do that. In essence, they are simply saying there is enough evidence to back it up that the people who were in that house must be prosecuted. Do you see where we're going with this one? They are just waiting for the current case to proceed and come to an end. And the other thing that I wanted to highlight as well is the fact that some of the things that are said or were said by look, how can I say this one? Some of the questions that were asked or that are being asked now, we must bear in mind. I saw people saying, these questions are useless, blah, blah, blah. What you and I don't have the privilege is that we don't have the privilege of the witnesses, knowing the statement of the witnesses that are still coming up. And because of that, Tina, we don't understand certain questions that are being asked, and we think these questions are just irrelevant. Ganti Bona, because they've got the privilege of those statements, they understand what is coming up. So they often ask questions that will then later on be used when the next witness or when some of the witnesses are coming up. I thought it will be best for us to understand that the questions asked by the defense, it's not necessarily irrelevant and questions of no substance. For me, having this thing, I always give them the benefit of the doubt, even if I'm not interested in the question, but I always give them the benefit of the doubt because of that, to say, there are witnesses that are, like I saw some of the questions that were asked today when they were asking Colonel Mshololo. I saw like the statement of what was Colonel Mangena, what was his responsibility? Did he have the camera? You know, all those questions. I saw that, okay, we are already building up to Colonel Mangena right now. Do you remember the questions that were asked about Captain Zwane's participation? I saw that, we are already building up to Zwane. In mind, they know that there's Zwane. Do you remember the questions asked about how this, look, when they were asking about Matebula to say how they found these things, and Matebula and Mteto, how they found some of the evidence was found. Did they investigate the crime scene or not? Do you remember such questions? Now you understand when they posed the question to Mshololo to say, these people investigated and couldn't find anything, but you come to investigate the same thing to few hours later on and you find something. Do you see now? So I'm saying to you guys, we must bear in mind all of the most of the questions that are asked there. We don't have the privilege of the statement made by the witnesses that are still coming. So when they ask questions in an anticipation of the next witness statement and interrogation, or cross-examination, not interrogation, because interrogation, it happens by the police in their places, you know what I'm saying? And then examination is done by the witness, by the advocates in court, so, or the lawyers in court. So that's what we saw today, and it was quite interesting, you know what I'm saying? So bear with these people as we proceed. So yes, we have come to the end of this video, except I need to tell you that today it is the 23rd of May, August, at 8 o'clock. I will be with Unsegi Mazwai. Thank you to Unsegi Mazwai, by the way. I did not anticipate Unsegi Mazwai being the Unsegi Mazwai that I always expect Unsegi Mazwai to be, you know what I'm saying, militant. But yeah, so far I've experienced Unsegi Mazwai differently, I must say. You know what I'm saying? She's calm, yeah, man, yeah. And give credit to Kabelo Moseo. He's the one that started this whole thing, and give credit to that guy. And then Kenyan people, if you are in this community, please indicate. I'm coming to Kenya before the end of this year, so we are already doing the preparations. It's just a matter of confirming everything, the flight, all those necessary confirmations. It's just a matter of confirming all of those things. Other than that, I'm coming to Kenya, and yes, it's about my book. If I go to Kenya, it's about my book. It's written, the title is called The Arms of Masajani. Right. Having said all of this, please take care, guys. You and I will meet each other in the next video. But until that next video, good people, please